Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. V back with another casted game of Age of Empires 3, and we got some Malta. I love me some Malta, man. So many unique buildings and unique units and unique strategies, and they're not that great. And they are not an easy civ to pick up and learn, but they are such a satisfying civ to play and to watch once you figure out all of their little hidden goodies. But they are going to be played by Tung Sahur. That's a mouthful. He's going to be in the color blue in the north of the map and going to be picking up an early trading post. That tells me that Malta is going to be going for something a bit more passive, because if you're going to go for like Expo Pike with Malta in Age 2, you're probably just going to go with a market and get your hunting dogs and your gang saw early. So trading post indicates probably German tongue, maybe. That's the kind of boomier Malta build with the commanderies and the settler wagons. And meanwhile, his opponent is going to be the French, led by Tauntaun, like the animal from Star Wars. He's in the color red in the south of the map. And he is also going with an early trading post, though that is very standard French and doesn't look like he's going to be putting down a house. So 12-10 from France. And yeah, I mean, this is like the most opposite civ matchup you can get, right? You have like Malta, who's very difficult to control, very unique in terms of their flavor and their play style. And then you got French, which is like the civ to pick up and play. It's the most beginner friendly, the most basic civ in the entire game. I don't know, maybe Brit's a little bit more basic than French, but they are certainly the easiest when it comes to just knowing how they work, knowing their civ bonuses and their mechanics. But meanwhile, we got Jacques de Champlain picking up 40 wood, and it's going to be a nice little boost for him as he starts to transition into the second age here. Probably going to use that to get down that market, get at least hunting dogs and placer mines, if not steel traps as well. And let's see, Malta actually quite a bit behind in his age up. He did have to gather that extra wood for the house, whereas French went with the 12-10, but he does have his second card, and it is probably going to be the German tongue. Has a lot of mercenaries in his deck as well. He's got the Fenar allies as well as the Hanover allies. I like this card. I guess if you're not going to go crossbow and you still want light infantry, these Evzonis can be really, really effective. And if you're against early musket pressure from France, they're going to be very useful, and they're worth the cost, right? It's not like the Irish Brigadiers, where they're just not good for what you pay for them. But he is now going up with the Quartermaster, and France is probably going up with the Quartermaster as well. Yes. Okay, so we got two Quartermaster builds here, and France's deck looks very standard. Has the 4 Culves in there. Very nice. Going with the early market and going to be getting those upgrades as soon as possible. Macro's looking pretty good. He's not going to have enough coin to get a lot of his upgrades yet. He's going to get hunting dogs and placer mines, but he's not going to get steel traps, which steel traps is like such an important part of the French early eco. I feel like France without steel traps is like Dutch without banks. It's just, it's so crippling to that CDB economy not to get that extra upgrade. And let's see, does Tung have the German tongues yet? No, he's got all of his villagers on wood. He might not have food for a villager when he ages up, but he is going to get enough to send it before he reaches age 2, just barely. And he's got to get some villagers on wood right away. He does not want to miss out on that villager training time. But now France already in age 2 at the 4-minute 17 mark, and German tongue coming in for Malta. And what do we got from France? An early barracks. So probably going to be seeing some musketeer pressure here from Tauntaun. And I like that. Early muskets against Malta can be effective. I think certainly more effective than cavalry. Early hussars against Malta, they can just counter it so hard with sentinels that I think muskets are actually the better unit in this scenario. But going with 4 CDBs, and let's see, what is his third card? 700 wood. So no FF play quite yet. He's going to get down some infrastructure first and then possibly transition into age 3. Picking up 50 coin as well. That's going to be really nice. Going to help him get out that musket production without having to switch up his macro. And Malta, not a lot going on for Malta. He's getting down his market. No, that's Commandery. Excuse me. Probably going to be getting down his market. Sent Wignacore first instead of 700 wood. I feel like 700 wood is the more meta play. It used to be Wignacore first, but I feel like even with German tongue, you send 700 wood, get down, a market, some more houses, a couple of hospitals, and then you send Wignacore as your third card. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It's not a huge deal. It's not like it's a big difference. We do have some muskets raiding around. Might choose to take out this trading post, though I think they'd probably be better served just going and raiding vills, if I'm being honest. Did get a second trading post as well, did France, getting down his market upgrades as well. Steel traps already in, probably at this point with the 700 wood. And Church going down for the extra XP. And yeah, I think he's just going to go with 700 coin, get the very standard age up, possibly get a villager here. Oh no, Malta! Oh, the herder lady is going to go down. Oh, rest in peace. Oh man, she died right next to the ibex. You live by the musket, you die by the musket. Why don't the animals disappear? Why do the corpses of the people vanish but not the animals? Is it because the people are being taken to the afterlife and the animals aren't because they have no soul? These questions and more. Very philosophical today. But the guard, no. Okay, yeah, they are in guard stance. I really like this play by Tauntaun. I see this a lot where you put your muskets in guard stance to kind of weather them against that TC fire. And it just allows them to move as a more unified force. But he is going to pick up another villager there. 5 sentinels coming out from Tung, so forcing the 5 sentinel shipment, which actually feels like a win for France. The fact that you're delaying that 700 wood for Malta even more, it's going to be nice. He's going to be picking up the trading post as well and getting away scot-free. So Tauntaun playing this really, really well in the early game. Lots of nice pressure. Got the trading post plus 2 villagers. And Tung at 26 now and only 22 for Tauntaun. Though a couple of those Maltese villagers are settler wagons. So his economy is actually better than you might think. How many settler wagons does he have? He's got 3 over here and 3. Okay, so he's got a total of 6 settler wagons. So he's actually at 32 villagers right now, continuing to make sentinels and doesn't seem to be looking for an age up at all. Though Tauntaun is already halfway aged with the Exiled Prince. Gonna collect these musketeers here. This is gonna be a nice engagement for Tung. Sentinels, of course, are superior to musketeers, though they do take an extra pop. And you do have to remember, this is always a bonus about Malta that I forget, is that every card they send, they get a 2% hit points boost on all of their infantry. So if we look at Tung's card order as he's kind of picking off these musketeers, Tauntaun just trying to run away and get back as much as he can, but he's losing a lot of these muskets. So let's see, he sent 1, 2, 3, 4. He sent 5 cards so far. So Tung has already gotten a 10% HP boost on these sentinels. So they're from 155 to 171, which is just insane, right? If you think about a late game where you've already sent like 20, 21, 22 cards, I mean, we're talking about a 40% HP boost. That's just insane. And that's all Maltese units. It's not just like it affects just the sentinels or just crossbows. And then the fact that they can send additional upgrades on top of that, it is disgusting. Meanwhile, it looks like France is going to be in H3 now, getting out some dragoons, which, I mean, against sentinel spam, 5 dragoons doesn't feel like the best. Oh no, he made those dragoons. Okay, he didn't send them. Still, I don't know if I'd go dragoons against sentinels. I would just pour into skirms, though I guess you do need some sort of anti-cav. And what is Tung gonna do to counter this? He decided to send... Well, he was going to send... Okay, so he was going to send British Tongue, and then it looks like he canceled it, but he's now sending it again. And British Tongue actually going to be really good. That's going to give him 10 Order Longbowmen, which are stronger than normal Longbowmen. It's going to give him another HP upgrade, and it's going to give him another Commandery Wagon. So it is expensive. I mean, 500 wood is nothing to scoff at, but he is going to get his money worth. And against all these goons and muskets, it's actually going to be really, really nice. And he's queuing up some Order Hussars as well. So if he gets a nice pop here of the Longbowmen and the Order Hussars, he could possibly pick off these 2 Falcons from France. I don't really love that Tauntaun's pushing in this hard. He just doesn't have a lot here to protect his cannons. And he's taking a lot of damage on this Falconet from the Commandery. Now, if he picks up the Commandery and gets away with it, I'll call it a win. But 5 Order Hussars coming out just in time, and they were 1 volley away from not making it out of the Commandery. So that was just really lucky timing on the part of Tung Tung. He's got his Order Longbowman now, and he's already got a Commandery wagon to replace it. I wouldn't be surprised if he plops that right down where it was. Nope, looks like he's going to start moving it forward. And this is a big thing for Malta. You want to play the map control game. You want to seize those resources. Use commanderies, use depots, use fixed guns, because that is, if you don't use those things, you're kind of ignoring half of Malta's playstyle, which is not good. So we got Sentinels, we got Order Longbowmen, and we got Order Hussars. And yes, these are veteran skirmishers and falconets, but there's just not enough units here. And the Hussars, they got to get on the falconets, though. They're getting a little bit caught up on the muskets in melee. That's not where they want to be. Get on that cannon. And now it looks like the Sentinels are going in with their big, pokey halberds, and they are going to just force down those 2 falconets. And, I mean, Tauntaun did take out some of the Maltese infantry, but that was a clear victory for blue. And he's still got all of his Order Longbowmen. He's still got 1 Order Hussar as well that he could possibly send off to raid, making more Sentinels and sending the 7 Hanover allies, which, I don't know, I feel like the skirmishers would be a better call there, but oh well, they're still going to be useful. So Hussar, Sentinel, and Mercenary is going to be the play from Malta here. He's got 35 Ville population versus 27 from France, though France is now in age 3. Veteran skirms and veteran goons going to be really good against all these Maltese infantry. If he can kill the Order Longbowmen, those are his biggest target right now. More Order Hussars on the way. He's got to take those out with his goons. These guys do upscale automatically. They get shadow teched whenever they go into a next stage. So if these guys were to get into age 3, they would get the Hussar veterancy automatically. But wow, okay, so Tauntaun going really heavy into Dragoons here. I don't think I agree with that. I mean, if you look at what Tung Tung is making here, he's going really heavy on infantry. Yes, he does have some cav mixed in, but I feel like going more heavy into Dragoons than skirms, possibly a mistake here by the French player. Though these goons, I mean, they are still veteran. They are still going to do well against the Sentinels, but not as well as the kiting of the skirmishers. Order Longbowmen still doing work in the back here. They did take out that barracks, but a lot of the Sentinels now going down, and we see the momentum starting to move into France's favor. There is a critical mass of Dragoons here, and maybe the reason he wants this is he wants to kind of completely nullify the threat of the Hussars, though they are going to get on these skirmishers and clean up those remaining 5. But these Dragoons, they are going to get out fairly intact. And, I mean, that was a decent trade for both players. I still think that Malta got the better deal there. They did kill a lot of goons, though they lost a lot of Sentinels as well, and they are still not in H3, and doesn't look like they're going to be getting there anytime soon. And where are the Hanover allies? Where'd those guys go? I don't see them anywhere. Oh, there they are. Okay, there they are. They blend in so well with the Hussars, these Totenkampf Hussars. But they're going to be relatively useful. Hopefully he pops out the Fanar allies right here at this commandery, because they will save him a ton of headaches from these Dragoons. And I mean, oh god, the French army is just kiting so well here. It's so mobile. It's going to be so hard to pin down. And these mercenary cav not doing a lot of work at all. The 3 curs keeping them pinned down at all times. More sentinels coming out. The Fanar allies, they need to come out quickly. Come on, come on, come on. It looks like the last cur is finally going to go down, and the Evzonis come out at the perfect time. They are going to drive the goons away. 41 Ville pop for Malta versus 32 from France. France now sending cavalry combat, which is going to be perfect for his composition. And what does Tung Tung still have? He could send spice trade, 700 coin. He does have trip to Jerusalem as well, though I think the best thing to do is send hospitality and get into H3 as quickly as possible. Resources kind of starting to dry out a little bit. Both players starting to move to the trade line. France has 3 trade posts, by the way. I don't think any of them are upgraded. But yeah, I mean, a lot of exposed villagers at this point, which might actually play to the advantage of the more mobile French army. But if a critical enough mass of sentinels gets out along with these Evzonis, it's going to be very hard for these dragoons to get a favorable engagement that really pays off. And it looks like Trip to Jerusalem is going to be the next card. Going to be getting 600 wood and 600 coin. And maybe he just tries to get to age 3 off of the back of the 600 coin. Maybe he just gathers the other 200 that he needs. I'm not sure. Or maybe he just pours it into more sentinels. Yeah, he's going double sentinel production, but now there's more curs mixed up in here, and these guys with their splash damage gonna do really well, but against the melee attack of the sentinels, this is not the sort of engagement that curs want to be in. And look at that, 5 curs just getting obliterated by age 2 sentinels. And remember, these guys were at 171 HP just a few minutes ago. They are already up to 180, and that's only going to get worse as the more cards come in, and it doesn't even cost you anything. All you have to do is just send cards and your units just get boosted automatically. Looks like the Order Longbowmen, they get an extra 10 HP as well. Yeah, it's such a great hidden bonus that a lot of people don't think about until they get into the post game and they look at the stats of these units. I mean, it's not a huge bonus, right? Like 2%, it takes a long time for that to pay off, but the fact that you don't really have to do anything for it, yeah, a lot of people sleep on that bonus. We're seeing double Order Longbowmen and double Sentinels, so Tung Tung completely committing to age 2 here, and I like that, but he's not going to be able to sit there forever. I think just because he needs to be able to send more cards, I think he has to follow up with either Hospitality or 700 coin here. Nope, gonna follow up with Spice Trade. All right, wow, my calls are horrible today. A lot of veteran sentinels, excuse me, just regular sentinels. They feel like veterans because of that stupid HP boost. But, oh, interesting. Okay, so the mercenaries don't get that boost, which makes sense. And let's take a look at the French army here. He's got a couple of skirmishers, but I really think that Tauntaun's making a mistake not investing into skirmishers more. How's he doing for resources? I mean, he's got plenty of coin. Yeah, he could definitely be double producing skirm here. And I think he would do better than even these curs. These curs are never going to be able to engage these longbowmen while this many sentinels are here. And Malta doing what Malta does best. He's really starting to eat up a lot of the remaining resources here. It's kind of just this one corner for France that's left. And if he's not able to protect that with this big Cav army, he could find himself in a lot of trouble. Though he does have a lot of curs. That's 10 curs right there. That is going to be not insignificant, but I don't know. I still think the Sentinels are going to trade really, really well if it's just a head-on fight. Now, if he pairs up those 10 curves with like 15, 20 skirms, that could be really, really disgusting. And Tung Tung. Oh, Tung Tung got into age 3. Okay, so he did macro for age 3. I was wondering why his reinforcements were starting to go down a little bit and immediately slamming down veteran sentinels. So these guys are going to go from 210 and they're going to get another, I think, 10% boost, maybe 15% boost. I forget what the veterancy upgrade is. Is it 15%? I think it's 10%. I think it's 10%. I'm not sure. 246 HP. Okay, that feels like more than 10%, but 3 falconets here from France. Is he going to have enough to protect it? The Sentinel's going to be getting into melee. They grab their halberds. I don't even know where they keep those things. It doesn't look like they strap them to their backs, so I don't know. Maybe they're storing up the, well, we won't talk about that, but look at the curs. They're just getting obliterated. And the longbowmen doing what longbowmen do, sitting in the back and doing so much DPS. And now the dragoons and the curs looking foolish. And it still has the Evzonis in his army. But wow, what a great game. I love seeing Malta played well. And while I do think France made a couple of mistakes there once he got into H3, I think Tung Tung just playing well with his Sentinels and really doing a nice job with the micro, getting them into melee against those curs, and just getting a lot of favorable engagements. Yeah, that was really, really fun to see. And it was a bit different than you normally see Malta played, you know? You don't always see Sentinel Longbowman as the composition. So, like I said, man, this Civ, hard to master, but so fun to play and so fun to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. I will be back with another in a couple of days, but until then, have a great day, have a great life. See you later.